Are you aware of how to apply to a school in France? Are you aware of the Campus France platform?
Basically, the application period usually starts every November.
Do you know that there's a time duration for you to apply?
It starts every November, so and every session in France usually starts from September. So September of every year is when a new session starts. Student, international student, national student, you start a new level. So it's either you're starting with the masters or you're starting with the bachelor's degree, which is like the undergraduate. They call it licence.
These are the things I want to share with you guys in this particular video. Just keep watching and don't forget to subscribe. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Glory Rex, a poet, a content creator, and a sound engineer. If you are seeing my face for the first time, you are welcome to my channel. What I do here is create amazing videos for you guys, and also I love to share, fun videos as well. So what you need to do is check previous videos. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe as well. So to my returning subscribers, I'll say thank you guys so much for always coming back to watch more amazing videos. And you guys know I have more videos coming for you, because some of you that have been following my channel, you know that I got an admission to Ebony Life Creative Academy, and trust me, there are more content coming for you guys based on that. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it for you guys in the description box and also above here as well. And there's just more content coming, guys, but let's concentrate on this particular video. This video was inspired by the questions I got in my comment section, because a lot of you have been asking me how to apply through Campus France platform, and also the difficulties you are encountering, and also you want to know more about the platform. A lot of you asked me questions because of my previous video about how to get a university in France through Campus France platform. That is because my classmate in my French class got an admission through Campus France and is currently schooling at the moment. So I decided to speak with someone that understands how to use this platform to better explain to you guys how you can apply through Campus France, and other things that you need to know about applying to a school in France. So how do you apply to a French university?
Okay, so basically the first thing to know is that you need to pass through Campus France. It's an organization that is located in, you have a Campus France office in Lagos, you also have a Campus France office in Abuja. So basically, Campus France is the organization where you do your interview and all that, but then they have a particular platform from Campus France that is called Études en France. So Études en France is the online portal. So it's the online portal where you go to fill in your application. So the first thing that happens is that you fill in your application. So Études en France portal usually opens November every year. So for the past how many years have been opening first week of November, but this year it has been changed to October. For whatever reason, it's starting from October. So you have to take that cognizance. It's going to be ending by December. So once they open, all you have to do is to go into the portal and then you select your 7 universities. So you probably have selected a university before. From over there, you fill in your information. You have to fill in your certificate, your transcript, your CV. And then for the 7 universities you pick, the only thing you're going to do differently is your letter of motivation. So for each of them, you just have to write the reason you're going to each of those universities. And then you submit the application, and then you pay a Campus France fee of 50,000 naira. The Campus France fee is 50,000 naira. So immediately after that, they call you up for an interview. So the interview is basically to ask you, why do you want to go to France? What do you want to study? What is your motivation? And what would you like to do afterwards? And then about your finances and where do you plan on staying in France. And so it's a very short interview that happens like that. And then afterwards, about a few months after the interview, depends on when you do the interview. So so if you apply from October down to December for next year, January, February, March, you start to receive the responses from the university. So from the 7 universities that you've picked, you can you have to pick only one, but then you can definitely get 7 acceptance. So once you got an acceptance, you have to now choose which of them you would go for. So once you've chosen the university, you will have another interview with Campus France. that basically asking you why did you choose that particular university, and then they will ask you if you have the required documents. The documents that you're going to have to submit at the visa office. So there's nothing really important that you need to submit except the accommodation. So you have where do you want to stay, so you have to have proof that you have somewhere to stay, either you're going to be staying in school hostel, or you have a private accommodation, or you have somebody you're going to be staying with. And the second important document to show is proof of funds. So proof of funds is quite extensive, but so if you probably just speak with Campus France, they'll probably tell you about it. But definitely once you've chosen your university, they're going to give you a list of what we would need. So proof of funds is it's quite extensive. So there are many options. A blocked account, there's a guarantor option. So we have somebody who can guarantee that they're going to be sponsoring your stay in France for the 12 months and all of that. So basically your accommodation, your finance, proof of funds, and then your acceptation, the attestation from your university that you've been admitted, and your original document, date of birth, school certificates. So immediately after the Campus France interview, which they would have to check up your documents if you've had the right documents. Afterwards, you're going to submit to the visa office. So the only thing basically you're going to do in the visa office is to submit the whole of your documents. And then usually they take about 2 to 3 weeks to receive the response that, oh yeah, we've accepted, so you have your visa now. And then the only other thing is to prepare to go to France. So that's it. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little bit about the proof of funds, or what is required to prove that you have enough finance to live in France. So basically, the government says that you should have 615 euros per month. So 615 euros is the minimum amount that a student should have. So per month. So you should have that per month in your account to be able to survive in France. That's what we feel like that. So if you don't have up to that in a month, that means you cannot live in France. Probably going to be a burden to the government or stuff like that. So they require that if you definitely have your own account, okay, that means you have 615 times 12. So you can do the math. So you have 615 euros times 12. So you have to prove to them that you have that particular amount in your account. So that's the first thing. That's if it's you who is sponsoring yourself. Or the second thing is that you're earning at least that amount per month. So you yourself are earning. So if you are earning that amount per month, all you have to do is to show up your last three bank statements that, oh, you're having this, but you actually earn this amount per month. If not, you must have had a particular saving for that 12 months. And then another option is to have a guarantor. So it's not you who is sponsoring, it could either be your parents, your friend, a relative, or a distant, anybody who can guarantee that they would stand for you when you go to France. So what is required is that they still themselves, either they have the amount, so if they have the whole of the amount, that's for the 12 months, that amount will have to be blocked. Okay, so that amount have to be blocked, and it's going to have to be like, they're going to have like a permanent statement from the bank. Every month is going to be, you're going to be withdrawn 615 euros. So 615 euros is going to be withdrawn every month for you. So they have to earn 3 times 615 euro in order to stand as your guarantor. So that's one thing to do. So they need to have, because it's not just having, they're not going to just like sponsor you, they have to feed themselves also. So just you alone is 615. So they must have at least 3 times 615 euro per month. So they must be earning that, like as a salary earner or as a business owner. So if they are earning up to that amount, all they have to do is to like write out a letter and then sign out the form that the Campus France is going to be giving to you. So once they've signed it out, put on their work ID, that's just the document you're going to have to submit to the visa office. So it's either you're going to be sponsoring yourself, or you find a guarantor who is earning that particular amount, and then to provide the 3 months bank statement. So that's all we needed to for your visa application. application. Basically, the application period usually starts every November. Like I said earlier, it starts every November. So and every session in France usually starts from September. So September of every year is when a new session starts. It's when student, international student, national student, you start a new level. So it's either you're starting with the masters or you're starting with the bachelor's degree, which is like the undergraduate. They call it licence. So licence, you have L1, L2, L3, or you're just doing your masters. So every year by September, that's when it starts. But the application period starts November. So up until this year, okay, it was always November, but for this year, it starts in October. So in October this year, the Campus France online portal, which is the Etudes en France. You have to go over there to apply, and it's just for 3 months. So from October down to December, you'll be allowed to pick up your universities, and then you pay the fee to Campus France, and then you do the interview, and that's it. So October is when it's starting, December is when it's going to end. So you have to do that. So another thing to know is that you don't have to pass through Campus France. Okay. So Campus France is definitely better. If you pass Campus France, I mean, that's fine. But there are only like about 1, 2, 3 universities that allow international students to apply to them directly. Okay? So you have to find those universities that allow you, because most universities, like 99% of universities, will not let you post to them directly. They have to tell you have to pass through Campus France in your country to get to us. But some universities let you, or maybe private universities. So public universities are what we are talking about. So whenever I mention Campus France, I'm talking about public universities in France. Like I said, public universities in France are just as good as the private, if not better. So they don't have a private university standard that you need to follow. So if you want to study in France, your mind shouldn't even go to private universities, because the standard is basically the same, and it's actually way cheaper. Especially except if you're going to be going to a business school or maybe a specialized school, you can be thinking of a private school. But if not, the public school will definitely give you whatever you need. So basically, you can apply to some few schools who would let you apply to them, but I will still tell you not to. So just go through Campus France, because it's way easier, it's straightforward. You'd still have to pay the same amount. So even though you go through a particular university directly, once you've gotten the admission from that university, you will still have to go back to Campus France for whatever stage, because they're the ones who are going to help you with the visa processing and all of that. You still have to pay the same amount that you would have paid earlier. So, and also Campus France affords you the option to choose up to 7 universities. So there's no need bothering yourself about that. So it's twice the headache to get a university and then still try to connect back to Campus France, So that's all you should be thinking about. You can also walk down to their office. So Campus France in Lagos, you have it in Alliance Française. We heard of that. It's the My Academic Center, Alliance Française in Ikoyi. So you can just walk up to them and get whatever information you need, and they'll help you through the process. So it's quite easy.
Very nice.
Okay, so like I said, the 2 things that are important, apart from the fact that you're getting an admission into the French university, is that you'd have to prove that you have finances, and then accommodation. Okay, proof of accommodation. So what happens is that majority of students before now, they actually used to apply to the French hostels. They have something called the cruise. So it's called the cruise. So every French university has cruise apartment. Is what they call the student hostel. Okay. So the thing that happened about a year ago is that what happened is, naturally, if you want to apply to university, both national and international students apply at the same time. So when the hostel is available to be applied for, everybody comes on to apply. But since last year, the rule changed such that the first phase is for the national and European students, and the second phase is for international students. So what happens is, the second stage is the supplementary stage. So you will even find out that when a certain stage usually reaches, you don't get a hostel. Sometimes it's either it's finished or they got it. It's basically finished, or maybe it's the bleeds that is left, the nose bleeds that is left. They can't really accept that and all of that. That is why. And another thing to know is it actually comes quite late. So it's by July. That same year you'll be entering the school by September. That's when the supplementary stage starts. So you cannot really use that as a proof of accommodation. That's another thing. So you can definitely use it. It's just that it's going to be really late for you. So the good thing is to apply for your visa on time, so that if there's anything, you can always maybe reapply, or do the appeal and all that. And then if you wait for July to see if you would probably get a hostel that is not available and all of that, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you. So thinking about proof of accommodation, you probably have to write your mind off going into the hostel for now. So maybe when you get to France, you can decide to apply for the hostel, or maybe apply for the hostel still before you get to France, because the hostels are like really cheap and quite accessible, very close to the university, and they have basically everything in the hostels and all that. But now the rules have changed, and it's harder for international students to get into. So the proof of accommodation you have to now be looking for is the private accommodation. So you have to find that landlords who are willing to rent maybe a part of your house, or have an estate that they're willing to rent out. So there are some. So when you even go to the Etudes of France platform, they have some websites you can go on to. It's like if you know Nigerian Property Center, or just go online and find out rent in France, rent in a particular location. So you go onto the website and then look for your city, and then they'll show you the accommodations that are available. And then what happens is, when you find the accommodation that you feel is cheap enough, or it's what you want, a room or 2 rooms, or a room and a parlor, a room and a kitchen, you would have to contact the person who is actually renting that house, giving up the house for rent. So what people actually find difficult usually is the fact that you're speaking to French people, okay? So that can be a little bit difficult. Although I've actually known some people who do not speak French at all, who have been able to communicate with them with Google Translate, in terms of email. So they don't have to call, you don't have to call them. You just communicate by email, you do your Google Translate, or this what the person says, and then it translates, and that was how basically you work out the whole thing. But then, like I said, the best thing to do is to find someone who speaks French that can help you, someone who can speak both French and English to help you with the whole of that. So yes, I think if you probably have a problem with that, you can send me an email, and I'll do my best to help out, to see, this is actually genuine, or stuff like that. So I can actually help you with that also. So just send me an email and I will respond to that. So once you've made your payment, so what actually happens for private apartments is that you have to pay. You actually have to pay. Okay, so you have to pay before you get your attestation of accommodation. So you have to pay a month's rent. Sometimes you have to make a deposit. So rent in France usually is from 200 euros down to 500 euros depending on the city. Okay, so you don't have to pay for the whole year. So rent in France is usually paid it's usually paid every month. So every month is when you pay. But if you're going to say that I'm going to get into this room by September, so you'll be required to make a deposit. Definitely refundable if you're not being given the visa. But that is just how you need to. That's what exactly you need to do in order to get the attestation that you would submit to the visa office. Another thing to do, which is what some people do, is to get somebody who lives in France and say, okay, you can probably pair with that person, or to look for Nigerian students already that are they're already in France, and speak with that person and say, okay, I want to share for this particular amount of time, because the French government will usually require you that you have a particular place to stay for 2 to 3 months. So it's not like for the whole year, that you don't have to have paid for the whole year, just an attestation that in 2 to 3 months you know where you're staying. So you can find a Nigerian student who lives in France and speak with them to help you sign up that you will be staying for the meanwhile before you get your own apartment and all that. So yeah, you have different options for your proof of accommodation. That's it.
Yeah.
D'accord, c'est tout pour aujourd'hui. J'espère que cette vidéo vous a plu. Si vous avez des commentaires, si vous avez des questions, écrivez-le dans les commentaires. Et n'oubliez pas de liker la vidéo. Abonnez-vous sur la chaîne et j'espère que vous passez une bonne journée. Au revoir.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I remain my humble self, Glory Rex. Don't forget to come back and watch more amazing videos from me. And if you want to know more about Mene, I'm going to make a separate video about that. So let's get to know who Mene is. And that will be a separate video from this, okay? I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. A bientôt.